Welcome back to The Mirror Moves, where assumptions get shattered and truth punches prejudice straight in the face. Today's story begins with a wrong call, spirals into injustice, and ends with a twist so satisfying, it'll leave you cheering. Buckle in, this one's a ride. The shout came like a slap across a quiet morning. Hands where I can see them. David Ellis, 32, blinked in confusion. His hand hovered over the driver's side door handle of a black BMW parked in his new driveway. He was still wearing sweatpants and carrying a cardboard box full of cleaning supplies. His brow furrowed. What? Two uniformed cops stood behind him. One, tall, mirrored shades, hand hovering by his taser, took a step forward. You're under arrest for attempted grand theft auto. David blinked. This is my car. The cop didn't flinch. Sure it is. The other officer, younger, looked unsure. Dispatch said it was a black male, mid-30s, suspicious behavior, possibly breaking into vehicles. David tried to stay calm. I just moved in. The keys were in my gym bag, and the alarm's being weird. You can check the title. My name's on it. I have mail, lease papers, anything. But they didn't check. They cuffed him. Right there on his new lawn. Across the street, behind a curtain, Barbara Haynes, known to most of the block as Karen, sipped her tea with a smug expression. She'd called it in the moment she saw a strange man walking up the driveway. The moving van hadn't registered. The welcome mat reading, "The Elises," meant nothing. What she saw was threat. And she wanted it gone. Back on the curb, David sat in the back of the cruiser, wrists burning, mind spinning. He tried to explain. The younger officer finally checked the plates. Then the mail. Then the ID. Silence. The older cop exhaled through his nose. We may have jumped the gun. David said nothing. Because what do you say when the world still sees you as a suspect for existing? But that's not where the story ends. No, this is where it begins. Because David wasn't just some guy moving into a new house. David was a civil rights lawyer, nationally respected, known for winning a string of landmark discrimination cases. And Barbara Haynes? She had just poked the wrong bear. 2 hours later, cuffs removed and apologies mumbled, David was inside his new home. He sat on the floor, staring at the box labeled "Dad's Records." Inside were photos, certificates, and a folded flag, reminders of a father who'd served and sacrificed so David could live free. And now this? No. David stood. He walked back outside, looked straight at Barbara's house, and raised his phone. He hit record. Hi. My name is David Ellis. I moved into this home less than 24 hours ago. Today, my neighbor called the police on me for unlocking my own car. I was handcuffed in front of my house. I wasn't breaking any law. I was being black. He uploaded the video. By nightfall, it had 3.4 million views. The backlash was immediate. Local news picked it up. National outlets followed. David did interviews. He wasn't angry. He was measured. Powerful. I'm not here to cancel anyone, he said. I'm here to teach people that their fears don't override my rights. That suspicion based on skin is not a community value. That we must do better. The police department issued a statement. Training protocols were re-evaluated. The mayor reached out. And Barbara? She disappeared. For a week, her house was dark. No porch lights. No trash cans out. Then, one morning, a letter appeared in David's mailbox. It wasn't typed. It was handwritten. Shaky cursive. Dear Mr. Ellis. I was wrong. I judged you unfairly. I acted on fear instead of fact. I have spent this week thinking about how I might feel if someone did that to my son. I watched your interview. I cried. You didn't deserve what happened. I am sorry. If there's ever a time you'll speak to me, I want to apologize face to face. Barbara Haynes. David held the letter for a long time. Then he walked across the street and knocked. Barbara opened the door slowly. No pearls. No glare. Just a nervous, tired woman holding a tissue. I didn't expect you to come. David nodded. But you asked. And you meant it. She swallowed hard. I've been so afraid of this world changing around me. And I lashed out. At you. Because I don't know how to be part of it anymore. David didn't smile. But his voice softened. Then let's fix that. What happened next stunned the entire block. Barbara joined David at a neighborhood meeting. She stood up, spoke clearly, and admitted everything. I made a mistake, she said. But I won't make it twice. I'm learning. Because it's never too late to change. David helped launch a community initiative, Neighbors Not Strangers, a program to build trust between longtime residents and new homeowners, especially people of color. It spread beyond the neighborhood. Local schools adopted it. Police precincts sent officers to sessions. Churches, mosques, synagogues, all joined in. One man. One moment. A movement. A year later, David stood in front of a crowd of hundreds. Behind him, a banner read, 1 year stronger, together we grow. Barbara sat in the front row. Smiling. Clapping. David looked out across the sea of faces. I moved into this home thinking I'd found a house. But what I found was a community. One that needed healing. One that chose truth over silence. One that said, we will not be defined by fear. We will be better. The crowd erupted in cheers. And somewhere, above them all, a father's flag rippled gently on the breeze. Because justice isn't always a courtroom. Sometimes, it's a front porch. And sometimes, the loudest apology is change.